Hello everyone, my name is Rosalind Zacharias, and I'm back again with another workshop for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about problem solving. Before we get started, I always like to give you guys our contact information. You can find us at www.lssjax.org. That's our location information up here, right there. And if you have any questions about our program or you're wanting to join our program, you can call us at 904-730-8256. And keep in mind that all of our services are completely free to our clients. And also, before I get started, please remember to press like on this workshop, and if you have any comments or questions about the workshop, you can leave it in the comment section below, or you can private message us and we'll make sure to answer those questions for you. Alright, so let's get started with problem solving. So what is problem solving and why is it important? So problem solving, just like the name kind of alludes to, it's being able to identify issues and implement a solution. And employers really look at this skill in their future employees because it really allows them to take control of a situation. Having good problem solving skills allows us to have control over a situation, and it really shows employer that you can be self-reliant. They don't have to help you with everything, that you're able to problem solve. Employers truly look for that skill in employers. You'll notice in interviews they'll ask you behavioral interview questions that kind of try to get that allow employers to gauge your problem solving skills. Those would be questions like, tell me about a time where you had a problem and how did you solve it, or things like that. So that's their way of kind of gauging your problem solving skills. So it's definitely a skill that employers and recruiters look for in employees. So I'm going to give you guys a quick overview of what the presentation is going to look like today. We're going to go over the 5 steps of the problem solving process. We're going to go over the problem solving strategy, so some strategies to help with problem solving. We'll go over some problem solving skills, some skills that you can use to help that are kind of involved in problem solving, that you can kind of study up on or you can use. And also some activities that you can use to help with problem solving. So starting with the 5 steps of the problem solving process. So I really liked this graph here because it showed the 5 steps. So step 1 is to identify the problem, step 2 is to analyze the problem, step 3 is to develop a solution, step 4 is to implement the solution, and step 5 is to evaluate the solution. So going a little bit more into detail about each step, starting with the first step, we're going to identify the problem. Now this is where our chance to really define what the problem is in a situation. It's our chance to really understand the problem, discover what is the problem. And then once we do that, we can go on to step 2, which is analyzing the problem. So you think about how significant is the problem, who's involved in the problem, why is this problem happening, and determine the cause of the problem. So this is the time to really analyze that problem. And going into step 3 and 4, so step 3 is going to be developing a solution. This is your chance to then brainstorm what should be done about the problem, what are the pros and cons of possible solutions, and really is evaluate your options in solving this problem. And then that brings us into step 4, which is implementing a solution. So now that you have all of your options, you're going to pick the best option and plan out what it's supposed to look like. What are the steps that need to be taken in order to implement that solution? What it should look like at the end. And then lastly, it's that step 5, evaluating the solution. So this is when you take the time. So you picked a possible solution. You implemented it. Did it work out? What were some pros and cons about it? What did it do? Or how did it go? And figure out what needs to happen next. Like, what do you need to do in order for the problem not to happen if it did work? Or start from the beginning now. If it didn't end up working out, what do you need to do now in order to get that problem solved? So those were the 5 steps of the problem-solving process. That's kind of a guide for you guys. If you have a big problem or if you have a problem at all, those are maybe some steps that you can take in order to solve that problem. Now let's move into some problem-solving strategies. So what we're going to be going over today in our strategies are going to be using your network, staying open-minded. We're going to talk about if a solution works, then keep it. And then we're going to end with learning from our mistakes in this section. So starting with using your network, we really want to be able to bring new eyes to the problem. Use the people around you, your team members, your colleagues. See if they can help you out. See if there's a way that they can be beneficial to the problem. And this will really allow you to see if there's other potential solutions. Maybe they'll think of something that you hadn't thought of before. And if anything, it also helps having a support system, having that encouragement is also really nice, especially when there's a problem happening and it can be kind of overwhelming. It's nice to have that support and encouragement. So use your network. Next, we're going to be talking about staying open-minded. We kind of touched base a little bit on this in the last slide. It's good to keep your eyes and ears open to the possibilities of, open to possibilities and ideas. Explore different angles. And we talked a little bit about it in the last slide. That works the same with using your network. It can open up different ideas. Be open to those ideas. Be open-minded, because they might think of something that you didn't think of before. So listen to others as well, and keep an open mind overall, because they might have something that could really help with the problem. And keeping an open mind is really important when you're problem solving. So next we're going to be talking about if a solution works, then keep it. So this is kind of a don't reinvent the wheel if you don't have to situation. So if you're presented with a problem, if you've had a similar situation in the past, then refer back to what I like to call problem-solving toolkit. If it's something that you've dealt with in the past, don't reinvent the wheel. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Use those tools, use those things that you've used in the past if you're able to, and don't disregard it if just because you've used it before. See if it works. See if things that have worked for you in the past work for the situation at hand. So just keep those things in mind when you're in the situation that you have a problem. If a solution has worked for you in the past, see if it's a way, if it could help you in the current situation. So if a solution works, then keep it. Excuse me. And lastly, we're going to talk about learning from our mistakes. So this is a big one because mistakes happen. It's a part of life. It happens often. But the biggest thing about this is to be able to learn from our mistakes. So of course they happen, but how will you grow from that? Be able to identify resources and knowledge that will keep you from repeating an error. This is really big. Just kind of taking that moment to evaluate and look at what happened, look at the mistake, and say, okay, these are the things that I need to do in order for this not to happen again. This shouldn't happen again because I'm going to do this, this, and that. So just take a moment to evaluate it and think about how you can keep it from happening and just grow from it. Excuse me. And now moving on to some problem-solving skills. So there's a bunch of things that are used in problem-solving, a bunch of different skills that are used in problem-solving. And these are also great soft skills for you guys to have and to grow with. And I wanted to give you those skills that are often used in problem-solving. So we have adaptability and flexibility, so the ability to kind of grow and go with the flow type of attitude. Being level-headed, having level-headedness, especially in problem solving, things can get stressful, things can be high risk, so just keeping a level head and not kind of getting overwhelmed. Creative thinking, that's a big one, especially when trying to figure out a solution for something. Having creative thinking is really big. Taking initiative, or having initiative, really being able to step up and help to fix the problem, all that. And decision making, that's a big one. Being able to pick something and sticking with it, but also realizing maybe something's not working, so then change it up. So having the ability to make decisions is really big. And team working is also used a lot in problem solving as well. So being able to work in a team and work with others is very big. So to end off, I really wanted to give you guys some activities that you can use to kind of strengthen your problem solving skills and give you some resources if you guys wanted to look into problem solving a little bit more. So the two activities that I have for you guys they're pretty simple. The first one is what can you do with a paperclip? So what are all the things that you can name to do with a paperclip, and make a list of it. So with this activity, it really helps you kind of brainstorm. So that's one of the steps in the problem solving process, is brainstorming, trying to figure out your options. So this will really help you kind of grow with that. So that's a pretty quick activity that you can do at home. And another one is make a list of as many ways that you can think of to say no. So saying no is hard for a lot of people. So this is a great activity for that, and it'll help strengthen that decision making, picking a solution, making a decision. So that'll help with that. So listing as many ways that you can think of to say no. And two resources over here on this side that I wanted to give you guys. If you want to maybe think about the problem solving process and kind of lay it out for different types of scenarios, FoxHue has a bunch of different workplace scenarios that you can kind of look at and think about, okay, how can I solve this problem that's presented? So that's a cool resource and a good way that you can think about problem solving. As well as humorthatworks.com has great activities based on each step in the problem solving process, and that can give you kind of like a fun way to help with problem solving. It'll give you like quick activities that you can do, or different ways that make the problem solving process a little bit more fun. Sometimes it can be kind of daunting, not as fun, obviously, because it's a problem and it can be overwhelming. So that it makes it into almost like a game. It allows you to have a creative outlet, a way to help with problem solving. So that was our workshop today on problem solving. If you guys have any questions, please remember to leave them in the comment section below, or you can always private message us, and we'll make sure to get those answered for you within 24 hours. Our contact information again is www.lssjax.org. That's where you can find us. And if you're interested in possibly joining our program, it's completely free to our clients. We help with a bunch of stuff. You can call us at 904-730-8256. And please remember to press like on this workshop. Have a great day.